All right, friends, welcome back to our class. We are going to get started making this fish dish today. Remember, when we start with clay, we're in this red circle stage, and that is that Play-Doh-like stage. It's where we can shape and form and make whatever we're going to make today. And then it's going to get fired in the kiln, and we're going to come back and glaze it, and then we'll have a finished product. So let's get started making our fish dish. First, you're going to get a pretty big ball of clay, and then you're going to need to take some of it off. So you're going to have maybe a small-ish softball size, and then something that's like the size of a golf ball. You're going to move the smaller section off to the side and then pick up the larger section and start rolling it in the palms of your hands to form a smooth ball. Next, we're going to take our thumb, push it into the clay, and that will start our pinch pot. To make a pinch pot, you're going to slowly start pinching it in a circle, opening up the opening of this pinch pot. And we're going to make a pretty wide opening. We're not necessarily making like a bowl. It's going to be a pretty shallow dish. So I'm just rotating the clay around and pinching it. And then I'm tapping the clay on the base of the clay mat to flatten it. Next, because we widened and stretched the clay, we do need to fix some of those cracks. So I dipped my finger in the water and I started smoothing out the edge or the lip of the clay. Next, we're going to grab some of our extra clay and we're going to start making some details for our fish. The first thing we're going to make are the back fins, and I'm taking a piece of clay, I rolled it into a ball, now I'm making a small coil and then folding that coil in half to make the back fins. To attach clay, we do need to slip and score it, which means to make it slippery or make it wet, and then scratch it. So I'm using a toothbrush for that. And then I'm using my fingers to rub the clay together. So the initial pinch pot and the fins are going to be formed together. If anything is too skinny or too small, just remember it won't survive the heat of the kiln. So make sure that it is attached properly. Next, we're going to make the top fin, and you can make and form anything just by pinching it with your finger. Same technique for attaching, scratching it with that toothbrush with a little bit of water, and then pressing and smoothing it on with your fingers. The next thing we're going to make is the mouth. So we're going to roll a small, like M&M size, peanut M&M size piece of clay into a ball, and then roll that into a coil. Same thing like we made with the tail, but we're just making it into a mouth. You can make it an open mouth or a closed mouth, and then I'm attaching it using the toothbrush method. Next, we are going to make the eye. So I'm making a circle, flattening it with my finger, and then attaching it as well. Finally, we're going to make the middle fin. So same technique as I made the eye, I'm just shaping it to look more like a fin this time. And then lastly, we're going to use two about M&M size pieces for the bottom fins, rolling it into a ball and pinching it for the bottom fins. Finally, we're going to start using some of the other tools that we have in our green containers. For the texture. Texture is how something feels or how something looks like it would feel. So I'm going to use a pencil tool to poke the circle for the eye. I'm going to use the green knife tool to draw lines into my fins to make it look sharp and pokey. And then I'm going to use the back of one of the plastic knife tools, a smaller section, and I'm going to press that into the clay to start making the texture of the scales for my fish. So this tool is a little bit smaller than like maybe the normal end of the knife. It's kind of a little narrower, or you can do this with a marker cap. So however you wish to make the scales of your fish. When you're completely done adding all of the details, then you're going to put all of your tools away and you're going to pick up your fish dish and bring it over to me. If there's any cracks in your clay, before you bring it, make sure you smooth those out. And then bring your fish dish to me and then rinse your hands at the rinse station.